So I have been following spirituality, meditation, and healing practices for over a decade. So how come I still feel stuck? And this is a message from Renata. This is a great question for anyone who may relate to that they've been maybe doing the practices for so long and they have been obviously receiving some benefits, but somehow they just haven't arrived still and still feel like it's just never ending and they feel maybe like giving up or they maybe feel like doing more. So let's unpack this today because there is a very good reason why, if you have been on this spiritual journey or journey of meditation and healing, that you feel actually stuck in that. And my name is Liv Kisper. I'm a best-selling author on non-duality and also a transformational coach in the field of non-duality. And I work with exhausted spiritual seekers and self-improvement enthusiasts who have been on the spiritual path or self-improvement for some time and still feel stuck or still feel there is something missing and something incomplete. Welcome to Live and Vibe. I'm going to speak from my experience working with clients because I see this all the time. The main thing, they come to me and they say, okay, I've been on this journey forever and I've been doing all these practices and I still feel stuck somehow. And when I ask them about their practices, it's a lot of meditation, it's some deeper looking, hypnosis, it's maybe some inner child healing therapy, all kinds of insight-based practices. Maybe they watch videos, maybe they listen to talks, they read books, and a lot of it becomes like intellectual understanding. And sometimes it makes you feel better. Or of course, if you do meditation, it makes you feel better for some time. There's always this time when you need it the most and it just doesn't work, you feel triggered or you just feel like, the more you heal, the more you feel stuck. And the main reason, what I find, is that spirituality and healing and therapy is about a lot of healing about the past or trying to recognize that the self is not real. It's all about insights, having some ideas like aha moments. But it's completely lacking action in reality. It's completely lacking engagement with reality and creating this authentic momentum to move forward. It's creating this sneaky false comfort, like, oh, now I got it. Maybe I've cried the whole night and I did some inner child healing or some therapy and now I understand the past. Now I understand there is no self and there's nothing to do and it's just somehow comforting. So it feels good. Or maybe I listen to meditation and it feels good in the moment. But if it doesn't translate to reality, to actually taking steps from the space of truth, really nothing ever shifts. And you feel that the more spiritual practices you do, the more actually you feel stuck, the lonelier you feel, because there is a new sense of superiority, like how much healing and meditation you have done. And now you're looking down at all these other people who haven't done as much as you. Like, it just doesn't matter how far you get with it. You will never get what you really truly want to be. Because the self who is trying to fix itself, is also the one who actually doesn't want freedom. It is the self-identity, and it turns into a performance. And so when I work with clients, it's very important that they have some vision. They have something that inspires me as well as them, so we can work on it together. And a lot of people, I would say like 50% people who write to me, who go through the application form on my website to schedule a call with me, I know from the application form or from their emails already that they are not looking for transformation or freedom. Most people are looking for validation of their stories. Maybe they find that, oh, I'm a highly sensitive person, or I'm an empath, or I am something, and they're looking for that validation. And of course, you can do therapy in that moment, or inner child healing. You can do all these practices, but sooner or later you will exhaust it, and you will look back. You will see how many years you've spent in crying or healing or meditating, and the self that feels broken or incomplete is still calling the shots. It still makes decisions, daily decisions on daily basis. What action to take, what actions not to take. And that's why you feel stuck. For example, an empath, like Renata wrote me, an empath is somebody who will be in relationships with people who are probably more on the narcissistic scale. And it's a whole dynamic. And empaths usually are so sensitive, and they take everything personally, like, I need to be healing. They're usually the ones who do all the healing. The narcissist, not so much. And so they are on this self-fixing journey, or spirituality, whatever you want to call it. But it really lacks taking the steps to either walk away or to really set certain standards, to really take action in reality, so you can be moving forward, so your relationship can be progressing towards more trust, towards the visions that you have in your life. Really taking steps to do that in actuality. If your healing and your spirituality is just an idea about feeling better or finding peace or meditation or healing practices, but you're avoiding really engaging with reality, with what is, then there's no shift whatsoever, and you will feel always stuck more and more. And the more practices you will do, the more stuck you will feel. The same thing with the example with being in a relationship with narcissist. If you don't set certain boundaries and standards, or walk away from a behavior that simply is not respectful, of course you're gonna feel anxious, and it will be very stressful. It will affect every area of your life, your business, your sleeping patterns, your health. It will be affecting all of that. And on top of that, no matter how much healing you do, no matter how much therapy you do, this is just one example. It can be with anything. You have some deeper desires to maybe write a book, create the business, to be free financially, whatever it is. All of these ideas, they just get buried, and it's the nature of the self-identity. It settles for what's not good for you, what is disrespectful, for the bare minimum, because it wants to keep on searching. It's actually feeling very important by doing these practices. As I already mentioned before, the more practices there is, we feel more enhanced. Like, wow, I've done like 10 years of meditation every day. I've done so many years of therapy. And by the way, of course, I relate to it. I've done so much. I've been obsessed for so many years by meditation, healing, practicing, studies, traveling the world, doing all kinds of medicinal ceremonies. I worked with the best coaches and therapists, and really it just provides this relief temporarily, because nothing can touch the self that's trying to fix itself unless we actually look into the nature of that identification and the supporting stories that keep the self that's trying to fix itself alive. And so, yeah, there is a lot of spiritual bypassing for so many people who simply are doing a lot of meditation practices because it feels like they're doing something important. It gives them this sense that they are progressing in some way. Because of course there is some benefits sometimes, or perceived benefits. They're not real, but they're perceived benefits. But there is also cost to that chase, to that fixing mania. And sometimes it's very subtle, that fixing, that search. It doesn't mean that you have to meditate. It just means that you're looking for peace. You're avoiding conflict. You're searching for approval, not consciously, not even being aware of it. It's just something that the self-identity does without noticing. Just when when somebody's judging you, or when somebody is not understanding you, just look into how it makes you feel. When I believe that it's important for me to maintain my self-image and somebody is judging me, of course, it's going to be painful. So I will try to avoid it because I'm constantly searching for approval. I'm searching for that wholeness. And no matter how many practices I do, how much healing therapy I do, it will never be enough unless we really look into the underlying stories and start dissolving the identification. So if you are on this journey and you feel like you have done so much work already on yourself and still feel stuck, maybe in relationships, maybe financially, maybe you're just not experiencing that freedom that deep inside it's somehow available, then start by reading my book. It's called The End of Your Story, and it's really about spiritual awakening. I would define spiritual awakening, basically, it's the shift from searching to seeing, because it's as simple as that. So the end of your story is spiritual awakening without any healing tools, without any meditation practices and stuff like that. But you will get a template that will look into your most restricting story that you're experiencing right now. And by just filling in the template and following the instructions, you will see through that self that is being stuck in some situation. So you can download the first chapter of this book in the link in the description, or if you just cannot wait and just want to read it, just buy it on Amazon. There will be also a link in the description of this video as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions about this, you can leave those questions in the description, in the comment section, of this video, or you can just shoot me a message through my website, which is also in the description, and we'll go from there. Welcome to live